Thank you for joining us. Merci d'être parmi nous. My name is Kendra Titley and I will be your moderator. Je m'appelle Kendra Titley et je serai l'animatrice de ce point de presse. Today we will be hearing remarks from Mayor Le Maire Mark Sutcliffe, Wendy Stephenson, Interim City Manager, Directrice Municipale par Intérim, Kim Ayotte, General Manager, Emergency and Protective Services, Directeur Général des Services de Protection et d'Urgence, and Acting Police Chief Steve Bell, Chef par Intérim du Service de Police d'Ottawa, Steve Bell. At this time, I would like to invite His Worship, Mark Sutcliffe, Mayor of the City of Ottawa, to say a few words.
Merci, Kendra. Thank you, Kendra. Tout d'abord,
First of all, I would like to present my condolences to the family that were touched by this tornado. I would like to thank the emergency services of the City of Ottawa. I would like to thank them for all the good work they were helping their residents.
Workers who have sprung to action today to help families affected by the tornado, and want to express my sympathy to those families, to the residents who were affected by this. The first responders are in place and they've been going door to door to make sure residents are okay. I'm here at the Minto Recreation Complex where there is a family reunification center just behind me, and where people can come if they need shelter or they need help of any kind or they just need information. You can also call 311 if you need help or information. And I just wanted to mention as well that my office and I have been in contact with the provincial and federal governments. We've been contacted by both levels of government. The Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, reached out to me just a few minutes after the news broke about the tornado, offering help and assistance. So the other levels of government are ready to assist as necessary. So I'll leave it at that for now, but happy to answer any questions. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. We'll now hear from Wendy Stephenson, Interim City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Sutcliffe, and hello, bonjour. I know it's been a very difficult afternoon for residents who live in the Half Moon Bay area in Barrhaven. Experiencing these types of severe storms can be very stressful and frightening, but I want to assure you that the City of Ottawa is here to help and support everyone that's been affected. The city is mobilized its Emergency Operations Center as of 2 p.m. this afternoon, and we've had multiple departments across the city working very hard immediately following the storm, including our teams from Emergency Services, Public Works, our Building Services, and Community and Social Services. We're working very closely with our external partners, such as Ottawa Police, Hydro Ottawa, and Enbridge, to make sure that all of our residents can return home safely. In the meantime, we are asking that residents follow the guidance from our first responders and to avoid traveling to and from the impacted areas. This is really going to help our city crews who are assessing the damage and helping with the cleanup. Impacted residents are encouraged to visit ottawa.ca for guidelines on what to check on for around their home and after the storm. And I'm going to invite Kim Ayotte, who's our General Manager for Emergency and Protective Services, to speak and provide a further update. Thank you very much. Merci.
Thank you, Kim. At this time, you may say a few words. Oops, you're on mute.
Yes, I was on mute. I had started already, but that's all good. Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Earlier this afternoon, at least one tornado touched down in the Barrhaven area around Half Moon Bay. Emergency services were immediately deployed to the site. Ottawa Fire Services, Ottawa Police Service members arrived quickly to the scene. Ottawa's been doing a door-to-door assessment of every house. Early information indicates that there's about 125 houses that have sustained damage. Les premières informations indiquent qu'environ 125 maisons ou soulis des dommages.
There's about 125 houses that were touched.
Was reported to an individual sustaining a lesion on their foot. We ask residents in damaged homes to be on the lookout for hazardous conditions, such as fires, gas leaks, electrical shorts, broken water lines, broken glass, any spilled flammable or hazardous materials. If your home or building shows any sign of partial or full collapse or a fire, please evacuate premises immediately. Si votre maison présente des signes d'effondrement ou d'incendie,
if you think that there's a risk of fire, please leave.
We also remind residents to stay away from the down power lines and electrical wires. For residents without power, if you are operating a portable generator, please do not operate it inside, including your garage. Generators should be located outside from windows, doors, and air intakes. Turn off the generator to allow it to cool before refueling. Know the signs of carbon monoxide poisoning, such as headaches, impaired hearing or vision, nausea, or dizziness. Public Works teams have already been deployed to the area to begin assessing the damage. They have already begun clearing roads and triaging the worst areas to be cleared in the coming days. For those who are outside the Barrhaven area, we ask that you avoid traveling to the area to allow city crews to do their jobs as quickly as possible. City staff will continue to be on site to provide property assessments and support those residents whose homes sustained damage. I would also like to add that emergency social services will be available in the coming days at the support center for all residents who require assistance. We are here to support you and will continue to be there for you in days ahead. Nous sommes là pour vous soutenir et nous continuons.
We are here right now to support you, and we will do it in the following days.
Bell. I want to remind residents to visit ottawa.ca or to follow social media channels to stay up to date on the latest developments, as well as monitoring local media, including your local radio stations. Thank you, and now I'll pass it on to Deputy Chief Bell.
Thank you, Kim, and good afternoon, everyone. At 12:45 p.m. today, a tornado warning was issued by Environment Canada. Around that same time, a tornado touched down in the Half Moon Bay area of Barrhaven. We received multiple calls for service through 911, and subsequently, Ottawa Police, Fire, and paramedics immediately responded to the area. A second tornado warning was issued by Environment Canada at about 2:45 p.m. this afternoon, but there's been no reported impacts from that warning. Ottawa Fire Services is leading this response for the City of Ottawa, and all municipal services are working together with key partners, including Hydro Ottawa and Enbridge Gas. The Ottawa Police Service will continue to support the Ottawa Fire Service efforts. The latest information we have at this time is that one hydro pole is down, impacting about 1,600 homes. Homes are presenting a risk for gas leaks and are being checked by fire services with Enbridge Gas to identify any further safety risks. And at this time, as Kim indicated, there's been only one person who suffered minor injuries during this event. Reports indicate that about 125 homes have been impacted, with roofs damaged by falling trees, debris and such, and damage also occurred to several unoccupied homes. Over 50 police officers responded to the scene and continue to assist Ottawa Fire Service, who is going door to door to check on members of the public and to assess damage. This incident still has a large footprint, and officers and all city and service partners are working together. A road closure is currently in effect due to fallen trees, electrical wires, and other debris at Cambrian Road between Boris O'Kane and Seeley's Bay. Other localized road closures may be in effect late this afternoon based on ongoing risk assessments. City barricades will be put in place at those locations. Please respect the established safety perimeters. If you do not live or work in the area affected, police ask that you avoid this area. Please respect the impacted families and the ongoing work of emergency responders. If you come across a traffic signal that is down, please contact the city at 311 to report it. This is a reminder to treat any flashing traffic signal at an intersection as a four-way stop. We are asking the public only call 911 if they're facing an emergency and need police, fire, or ambulance. The Ottawa Police Services are fully coordinated with the city, including city communications, and will continue to communicate with the public through public and social media channels, as well as any media inquiries that exist. Thank you, and happy to take any questions.
Thank you. I will now invite each agency to ask their question. You may ask one question with a follow-up. J'invite maintenant chaque organisme à poser une question et une question.
You can ask one question and one follow-up question.
Avantika Anand at CBC Ottawa.
Thank you. I'm wondering, if you can talk to me a little bit about the extent of the damage and a cost estimate, if you have that at the moment.
Sure, thanks, Avantika. This is Kim. Yeah, we don't have a cost estimate at this point in time. It's too early. The adjusters have to go in there and have a look. The damage varies from roofs being ripped off the homes, the shingles and the sheeting, down to broken windows and trees being down, and various other damage to structures. So it's a variety of damage, from small damage to quite substantial damage at this time.
Thanks, Kim. Just as a follow-up, you mentioned that cleanup had already begun. How easy or difficult is the cleanup effort at this moment?
Well, at this time, we have crews cleaning up roads. We're trying to open up roads, and police are obviously maintaining proper traffic to the area as needed. But we're trying to maintain access so we can give access to hydro crews, et cetera. It's certainly not like it was with derecho. It's not as widespread. It's very localized. However, it's still very impactful for the residents who are there, and the cleanup is going well, but it's not as severe as we've seen in previous storms at this point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll now go to Annie Bergeron-Oliver at CTV National. Annie, are you on the line? All right, maybe we'll come back. We'll go to Josh Pringle at CTV Ottawa.
Good afternoon, and thank you for taking our questions. Just a quick question. Has there been any reports of damage to city infrastructure, roads, buildings that will need to be assessed or may impact services in the Barrhaven area following this?
Yeah, I don't have a full list of all damage at this point in time. We do know that some traffic lights are out, so there is some damage to city infrastructure, but nothing substantial at this point in time. But we'll have a better idea as the day goes on.
Thank you. My second question for Mayor Sutcliffe, I was just wondering if you could elaborate a bit more on your conversation with the Premier this afternoon. What did he say, and if anything was asked for or promised in terms of helping the area clean up moving forward?
Mayor, you are on mute. Let me see if I can help here.
Sorry about that.
Oh.
Within a few minutes of the news breaking that the tornado had occurred, the Premier phoned me and offered his sympathies to the families affected, and offered the provincial government support as we needed in the hours and days ahead. It was very straightforward and quick conversation. So that was basically it. But he's always very quick to reach out when there is something like this, to be able to offer help and support.
Thank you. Nous allons maintenant Annie-Rose Deschâtelet à la droite. Annie-Rose, êtes-vous là?
Oui, bonjour.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Est-ce que vous m'entendez? Pas?
Can you hear me?
Oui, on vous entend maintenant.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Oui.
Yes, it's better now. Thank you. My question is for Mayor Sutcliffe. You are at the Minto Recreation Complex right now. We know that this is the reunification center for families. Do you have a lot of people inside the complex right now? Can you repeat the question? There's a lot of noise here. I can't hear you. Can you repeat, please? And can you slow down? No problem. Okay, you are at the Minto Recreational Complex. Can you tell us what's going on?
Je voulais savoir ça avait l'air de quoi? Est-ce qu'il y avait déjà beaucoup de familles?
What's the situation right now? Do you have many families in shelter? I cannot see many people for right now. I'm here with some councillor, Councillor Hill and Councillor Lowe, They are the counselor in this area. This neighborhood has been touched by the tornado. I don't think that we have many families for right now. We're ready to help residents if they need some help.
Et comme question
Follow-up question? Ayotte. We have 5 families only for right now. Question? What kind of services are you offering at the Minto complex? What kind of services will be available? What can family expect from the reunification center? We're there to help them with housing. When we have a situation right now, it's very difficult for the families. They don't know what to do. Who's going to be there for the insurance? Who will be there to tell us when we can go back to our houses? And sometimes they only need a place to have a meal tonight. And also, if they do not have, there's a power outage and they don't know where to go, they can come to the Minto complex for that. This is the type of services that we can offer if they need this type of help. We have the Salvation Army. The Red Cross is also here to help if they need it. Thank you so much.
We'll now go to Catherine Morrison at the Ottawa Citizen.
Hi there. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I'm just wondering if you can share some more information about how long the reunification center will be open and what the hours will be like, if you have an idea.
Sure, I can help with that. Right now, the unification will be open until no one needs us. Quite frankly, we'll probably be open into the evening. The first evening is always the longest, and in that it takes time for people to assess where they're at. So we'll probably be open till 11 o'clock tonight, or until people don't need us anymore. And then we'll be open first thing in the morning to assist as well. And if there's a need to have people overnight, we will staff that as well. These centers, depending on the damage, the amount of help required, we'll assess how long we will actually have it up and running. Usually it's a couple of days until we get everybody settled in. We'll also have a better idea of all the damage and of all the structures that should not be inhabited, at which time we'll know the number of families that need help. The help is pretty fast in coming as well. So usually these centers don't have to stay open that long unless there's widespread damage and it's a very severe situation. So
thank you. And then in terms of restoring power, I'm wondering who is doing the electrical work with IBU Local 636 on strike? Is it mainly hydro workers, or are there contractors working as well?
Yeah, I think that would be a question best asked to Ottawa Hydro. I know that there are hydro type workers out there, and I can't speak to their labor issues. So it'd be best for you to ask them that question. But we do know that they're out there initiating or fixing the power supply.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to Robert Hiltz at the Ottawa Lookout. Robert,
Hi there.
I think.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find the mute button. I hadn't started talking yet. I guess I was just wondering if you have a sense of how far the damage is. Like you said, it touched down in Half Moon Bay. I've seen images as far as sort of the Exeter, Wessex area of Barrhaven. Do you know how far the damage is, like physically?
Yeah, I mean, far and distance wise, I can give you some roads that are affected. We got Umbridge Place, Watercourse Way, Pursues Way, Proxima Terrace. You mentioned Exeter Drive. Yes, there's damage on Exeter Drive and Jockville Road, but it's limited to those 3 general areas is what we're seeing right now until, there may be reports of other damage as well, but we haven't received them yet.
Okay, and I know you said you didn't have an exact sort of financial number yet for the damage. Do you have a sense of how many gas leaks there are and how extensive that is?
Yeah, we haven't got any reports of any substantial gas leaks at this point in time. At this point in time, we're looking at all of the people who need help. So we're there to perform, the rescues have already been done if they're required. But we're there to help the people and to see what if anybody's injured. Thank God there was only one minor injury. And yeah, with regards to gas leaks, much of the gas that we're turning off is a precautionary. It's based on the fact that there's damage to the buildings and we don't know if the gas lines are intact. So the gas company will be coming in and doing those examinations and inspections and decide on when the gas lines can be rehooked up.
Okay, so it's just like a proactive thing that there might be damage, but you don't know.
Yes, it's very much what we do for all major scenes where there's structural damage to buildings. We, we make sure that any type of hazards that exist that we haven't been able to confirm their integrity. So we disconnect sometimes we have to disconnect the hydro or pull the meters, as is with the gas, the same thing. So we look for hazards that could be posed to not only those staying in the residence, but the neighbors, et cetera. And we minimize those hazards until we can get a better assessment of the damage.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you. Ensuite, nous irons à Camille Kazizi-Monet à Radio-Canada.
Camille Kazizi-Monet, Radio-Canada. Yes, hello. My question is for Mr. Ayotte or Mr. Sutcliffe. What are the emergency initiatives that have been deployed to help the residents that have been affected or others outside of the Minto Center? I will let Kim answer. Kim? Yes, of course. Currently, it's all the fire and police services and paramedics as well who are helping those who have been affected by the tornado. It's also the reunification center where people can get more help from the city if they need to eat or if they need help. For example, a place to stay tonight. Most people find shelter with family, but sometimes people don't have family in the region and they need to find other ways or other locations. And sometimes there are questions from citizens. For example, my roof flew off. So in some cases, we help them to find their insurance papers or this type of situation. There are also information on the services that the city offers according to their needs. We see if they need help on specific topics, on specific issues, and that's what we do to help them. Currently, there are approximately 5 families that came. It's not a huge number, but it could increase during the evening. Yes, of these 5 families currently, I believe you are saying that some may not stay at the Minto Center, that may not have shelter, but if some come and have to stay, how long can they stay at the Minto Center and how long will we accompany them until they can find a place at the hotel? Well, there's the Salvation Army and the Red Cross that can help them. They also have temporary lodging and hotels in case of emergency, as we see today. It's usually for 72 hours, so 3 nights. It gives them time to find their papers, to call their insurance companies, and to put forward the measures to, how could I say, to find, to get their stride, to get things back to normal, I guess. Thank you.
Merci. Nous allons maintenant à Francis Rochon à
Now, Francis Rochon, TVA Gatineau. Yes, my question is for Mr. Ayotte. I know you've mentioned it in English already. Could you repeat it in French now? Has the tornado caused any injuries today? We were quite lucky. There is only one person with a minor injury, but nothing serious. We were quite lucky and quite happy about this. Could you also repeat in French, if possible, to name the major infrastructures that were affected by this tornado? Yes, currently, the infrastructures or the services that were most affected were hydro, but there were also traffic lights that were affected. But we closed off natural gas for homes. But there were no major damages to the pipes. That's all we have up until now, but we'll see tonight if there are other services that were affected. Thank you very much. Do you have another question? No, I've already asked all my questions. Thank you. Thank you.
This concludes today's media availability. Ceci conclut le point de presse d'aujourd'hui. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you. Merci.